Aloha, everybody. My name is Dimont Kalai Manaole, and I come to you from Aina Ho'omanapono. And I have a message for all in Hawaii. Aloha to the Democratic Party. Today I read a sad commentary by a friend of mine who is in the legislature. And he's a longtime legislator, a very powerful person in himself and for the work that he do for all of Hawaii. And he was disheartened by the party at the end that chose to raise taxes again and to forget about the little people. Once again, the Democratic Party has failed the people of Hawaii. Your penchant to force people, most of the people in Hawaii who live just above the poverty line and below, to suffer with even more heavier taxes in Hawaii. And just continue to tax and tax and tax us. Those days are over. For Native Hawaiians, especially those who are in the 30% or below AMI, who are continually being subjected to being denied our right to be on the Aina. Not tomorrow or some distant future time, but today, right here, right now. With the Department of Hawaiian Homelands having 84,000 vacant, unmanaged lands, and to tell us we cannot have access to that. We cannot get on the land. And with the use of all this rules of this and laws of that, I'm sorry, but it prevents us from doing that. It's all shibai. You know, the state of Hawaii has lied to Native Hawaiians from the very beginning when it chose to become a state in the Union, because they violated the very first oath to us, because they agreed with America. With America said, if you want to become a state in the Union, you have to assume the fiduciary duties of the Hawaiian Homes Commissions Act. And the government at that time said, yeah, okay, we'll do that. But America was smart. America said, wait a minute. You're going to have to put that in your state constitution. They said, yeah, no worry, we're going to do that too. But since 1959, the state has repeatedly breached its or violated its fiduciary duties to Native Hawaiians. How many cases have we gone through? Let's talk about Pele Defense Fund, right? Let's talk about aged Hawaiians versus Hawaiian Homes Commission. Let's talk about Nelson, the Nelson case, right? Or the what else? What else we have out there? We have the Kalima case. We have the most recent Kānaka case. We have so many references, so many evidence of violations by the state of Hawaii against Native Hawaiians. And even now, when we make a move to reclaim our vacant unmanaged lands that you're not even using, you're just letting them sit there, but you would rather put us in apartments, pay rent in apartments or programs that you say will better our lives. Better our lives. You know, our life was much more better and productive when we was on the Aina. when we farm the aina, when we manage the aina in a way that allowed everyone to eat and prosper and thrive. That is our life. The Hawaiian Homes Commissions Act was never intended to be a residential program. It's explicitly a homestead program. Homestead, right? Homestead. Very different than residential. So we're done. We are so done with the Democratic Party that controls our everyday life. So I implore all Kānaka, enough with these guys. Now I know that a lot of us, we suffer from the co-dependency disease. If you don't know what that is, it's a best example would be a husband beating his wife, feeling that by not beating her, he not giving her love, and by a wife allowing herself to be beaten by her husband, feeling that if her husband don't beat her, he doesn't love her. That's a codependency relationship. We've been taking a beating by the Democratic Party since 1959. And how many of our Native Hawaiian Trust Beneficiaries has died on the wait list because of that? So, my call to action, live through kapu aloha. Live through kapu aloha. Don't get mad. You know, I grew up as a young, angry Native Hawaiian in our own country, and I took it out on those that are not Native Hawaiian. I committed atrocious actions against people that had absolutely nothing to do with my sad state of affairs and the craziness that was in my mind. So I take full ownership of my past, and I know from example, violence is not the answer. It's not the answer. Don't do that. You cannot achieve anything through violence. But we have a perfect example that love can overcome all. And not just love, everybody can talk love, but kapu aloha, the purest form of love in the Hawaiian vernacular. And we have proof of this. So what happened on Mauna Awakea? Yes, we prevailed. Kanakaole versus, no, Kanahele versus State of Hawaii, May 30th, 2024, proved it. That when you stand in kapu aloha, you can defeat the most baddest armed militants in Hawaii. They came up there with shock shields and bulletproof vests and batons, handcuffs, and weapons that can snuff out life in an instant. Yet we prevailed. We prevailed because kapu aloha is stronger than all of that. So, you want a way out of this misery? You want to end the misery? You want to end the control of one party in this nation, our nation, the Kānaka Nation? Divorce yourself from the Democratic Party, because they've been more devastating against us than even the military has ever expressed upon us. The military does not affect my life on a daily basis in a negative way. The military doesn't raise my taxes. The military doesn't subject Native Hawaiians to be the largest group in the prison system. The military doesn't deny us access to vacant, unmanaged lands of Hawaiian homelands. It doesn't do that. The military doesn't affect my life on a daily basis in a negative way. Now, granted, the military does some stuff out there on lands that's under their control, but under the lands it's under our own control. That should be under our own control. Who denies us that? Who tells us and makes up all these rules and regulations and policies and procedures and excuses to continue to deny us access to our own land? Who continues to try to force us to become Americanized and to live like Americans with your house and your white picket fence and your sky-high mortgages, to force us to be slaves to the system? Who does that to us? The Democratic Party in Hawaii. They say absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's definitely true in Hawaii. Democrats control Hawaii, and they absolutely abuse their authority over us. And all the corruption, the blatant, in-your-face corruption, while they act like, oh, we're going to tighten up our ethics laws. No need tighten up the ethics laws. No need to do that, because that's a political game that you're playing. Those that you like, it turned out cheap. But those that you don't like, all of a sudden now ethics come into play. No, you know what we should have? We should have felony charges against anybody who violate their oath of office. That's what I would like to see. You violate your oath of office, you go in prison. That's what you should do. Because the oath of office is a promise that you're making. It's a social promise to the people who voted you into office that you broke when you knew that what you was doing violated the laws. I don't care about ethical laws. It's a game that the politicians play to make the people feel good, like they're going to do something, but they never do anything. No. Let's see people start getting convicted of taking $35,000 in one paper bag and go to prison for some time. I bet you things will change then. Because when they start to see how serious it is, like how they see it's serious for us who commit crimes and go to prison for a long time, yeah, let's see that happen. Let's see who would be brave as a politician to introduce that bill. I tried getting that bill introduced over here in Waianae, and everybody who ran for office ran from that question. Not one was willing to introduce a bill that criminalized the violation of oath of office. Not one. I had one guy try to, water it down and all that, thinking, oh my God, so you're still not getting it. So anyway, this is my message to all people. Enough with the Democratic Party. Hang it up. They don't give a rip about us. They have never given a rip about us. It's now been 65 years. How much more abuse are we going to take from this Democratic Party? Now, I got to say to the Republicans, I'm not inspired by you. I see some Republicans out there making big grandstand comments and statements and whatnot that sound good. But when it comes to the have-nots, you turn your back on us as well. You don't give a rip about us. You're not there to support us, to get on our own homelands, to live as we choose to live on the Aina, the vacant unmanaged lands. You turn your back and you become silent about that, because you too are a proud American and you want your white picket fence lifestyle. And you want us to be slaves to the state as well. But there's some Republicans that's out there, like Brother Wayne Kaivi, who's not beholden to the Republican Party, who has showed him no love, but yet the people are attracted to him. That brother get chance for win. You know why? Because he's authentic. He took control of his past. He admitted his past, and he informed the people of who he is and what he's all about. And people love and trust him because why? He's an honest guy. He's an honest guy. That's why he gonna make them. And the Republican Party turned their back on him. But now they're starting to see he get momentum. All of a sudden now, they want to be his friend. Don't do it, Brother Wayne. Don't do it. Don't become a slave to the party. We should never be a slave to any party. If the party wants us there, then let their actions prove it. Let them have let them show that we can have a platform in their party that makes a place for Native Hawaiians to be able to thrive in our own homelands. Right now, we are third-class citizens in our own country. We are so done with that. We're so done with that. So, aloha no kako, kapu aloha is the answer. Love everybody. Let kapu aloha be in your heart, your mind, your soul. Let it be the center of your kino. Love everybody that you see. Do good for whoever you can do good for. Love your family. Love yourself. Do not ever resort to violence. Tell them the truth, though. Telling them the truth is not negative, bro. Only in political circles does telling the truth offend the people who's being told the truth about. And if you get offended by anything I said today, then maybe you should check your own conscience. You know, I have no problem with exposing my past. I did it since 2015 when I did the Civil Beat interview. And since then, people try to use my past against me, but it falls on deaf ears. Why? Because I already exposed that. Brother Wayne has just recently done the same thing too. We have nothing to hide. But we are willing to help salvage our lifestyle here in Hawaii. Because we know, we've been there. We've done that. So aloha no, everybody. This is Diman Kalai Manaole, co-manager of Ho'omana Pono LLC, a Native Hawaiian advocacy corporation operating out of the Waianae Coast. I'm proud to be Kānaka and proud to stand with our people and all people of Hawaii. We need everybody to come together to end this stranglehold on our nation by the Democratic Party. Aloha.